Okay, at 7 o'clock, I will call the October meeting of the Economic Development Commission to order. Roll call, starting at my left.
June Gagny.
Mary Ann Chinatti. Thank you. We have a quorum. Approval of minutes from September 15th. Do I have a motion? Any corrections, additions?
I didn't see anything.
I make a motion to approve the.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I would like at this time to modify the agenda to make item C, new business, ARPA business grant program, so that Jordan doesn't have to hang around for too long, and then move the other items down respectively.
Okay. I'll make a motion to put that on the agenda
As item C,
as item C.
renumber as needed.
I second that.
And Ava seconds. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Jordan?
Alright, so handing out is the, I'll let you guys pass it around, is the new ARPA, would you like one copy? Here. Is the ARPA Small Business Economic Recovery Program. You might remember about a year ago, we had kind of talked about a loan program. After we did kind of a soft rollout, we realized it was going to be much more expensive to actually run the loan program. It would have entailed a lot more. And then also, although a loan program was an allowable use of ARPA funds, no other town had successfully done it, and they also didn't provide a lot of guidance on what happens when the funds are returned or paid back on the loan. So I worked with the town attorney and Kevin to put together this grant program. It's very similar to the loan in terms of the uses for the funds. They can use it for construction. Well, first they have to show a loss, and there's some similar to the loan program. Loss could be demonstrated in a variety of ways. Probably the easiest way would be increased costs or loss of revenue. I think that will generally be what we see. And then those funds can be used for construction or improvements to the property. They can be used to, I don't want to miss anything. Purchase or renovate equipment. Employee training, but specifically for certifications and things like that. Like I've already got a question about working capital. It can't go towards working capital. And nonprofits are eligible to apply, and funds can be used for programs that help assist in the recovery of COVID-19. And basically, this has been approved by the board on the 12th, and
Board of Selectmen?
Yep, Board of Selectmen on the 12th, and 12th of September, I should specify. I was finishing up some other projects, but it's open until January 3rd, so we have a long time to accept applications. Basically, from now until probably February, I would assume, I'll be coming back and I'll present you with applications, and you'll make your recommendation to the board.
So you can accept applications until January 3rd?
Correct. Yep. And just to make sure that we're keeping up with it, like I said, I'll present you guys with the monthly applications. You can make your recommendations that way. It doesn't get backlogged. We already have 3 applicants so far. My plan is next week to send it over to the PBA and start advertising it more. There's been an article, but otherwise it hasn't been super publicized, just because we want to ease into it. The 3 applicants we did get that previously reached out, and when it was loan program, and actually all 3 of them said that a loan would really work for them anyway. So they were happy that this program came around. So if you have to answer any questions anyone might have.
How do they prove that they need it?
That was my question.
That they need it,
Yeah.
so.
That it relates to COVID.
Right, so it's more about, so it's going towards work, capital improvement or capital expenditures that will help then build a more resilient business. So it could be something as simple as painting the outside of their building because it's going to be more attractive, it's going to generate more revenue. So it is general, or it does fall under general economic development, but in a sense where that economic development is related to recovering from COVID-19. Because as business grows, jobs are created, things like that.
I think it's a great program, but I still don't get how they, if you apply for this grant, one would presume you have to show that you've had a loss due to COVID. How do you prove that?
Oh,
How do they give you documentation to prove that? Like if someone wants to paint the outside of their building?
Yeah, so I'll give an example from beginning to end. A business may experience a decrease in revenue in March 2021, and they can compare that to revenue that was experienced in March of 2019 before the pandemic. If they can show that they made, we'll just say $2,000 less, that demonstrates that there was a loss of revenue.
And that's a required piece of documentation with the application?
Yes, yeah.
So are you getting that information from their taxes that they file, or their?
Yeah, it would have, or any way that they could show that if there's an alternative.
Okay, so you can, they'll show you bank statements possibly?
Yep. And just to cover us, you'll see on the application, this is based off of an old line, very similar application. They do have to sign off saying that they understand that their application will become the property of the town of Plainfield, and will be included on a list of businesses and nonprofits seeking economic relief. So we're covered there. The attorney said that's good to go.
And I remember when we were talking about this last time, Ava brought up a concern about confidential or non-public information, like, you know, social security numbers and things.
If somebody came to
Yeah.
our meeting and it was just, you can't discuss people's private information
Yeah.
like that with other people around.
Yeah, so I'm going to send it out at least 2 weeks ahead of time, and that way anyone can review them. If they have questions, they can email me. I can follow up with them for more information. And then, just keeping in mind, when we discuss it, talking about social security numbers, anything that I send is going to be redacted. So they'll be good to go. They said as long as we follow those steps, nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Question, how are you keeping the data? Where are you putting your data?
So we're going to stay in line with ARPA's requirements. I think it's like 10 years for ARPA. It's longer, but I'm working with the finance director to make sure all the reporting is done properly, and we maintain the files as long as we need to.
Is the data accessible to any of the commissions, or is it only to the town once the data is gathered? Aside from redactable.
So anything that you can get through Freedom of Information, that's going to be available.
Okay, so that means that this commission would have to go through FOIA to get that information?
Oh, no. Yeah, if you guys want something, I can bring that to you. I was just saying, anything like, you can't come and ask me for their social security, like we were just talking about.
Yeah. No. Aside from redacted information.
Yeah. Yeah, do you have anything, you can ask me to, or you could, I guess, technically reach out to them directly if you have specific questions.
Okay.
Or we can streamline it through you. It's totally up to you.
Cool. I had a follow-up question. How are they finding out? How are the businesses finding out about this program?
So right now it's on the website. It's under the Economic Development Department's page. And then the Norwich Bulletin did an article, but then I'm going to be sending it to the PBA, and then hopefully, I know their Mingle's coming up. I'm going to request that I can come and answer any questions people might have and distribute some of that information. And then work with the Chamber of Commerce.
Facebook page.
And Facebook.
That is very active.
Right, I didn't want to overdo it until I spoke with these folks, but starting next week, I'm going to be really pushing it.
So do you have like a marketing plan, essentially?
Oh yeah, my marketing plan is, just pound it on Facebook, social media, and email. And then it's going to be out, I'll put together a brochure, we can have it out on the table upstairs. And just try and get it out there. We do have, I don't know, it should say there, it's $250,000.
Yeah.
And they can request up to 25,000, but their request should generally match their loss. The only area where we're gonna have to evaluate them on a real case-by-case basis will be with nonprofits.
Yep.
So they can demonstrate loss by a loss of donations, but there may be more flexibility allowed by ARPA. Where, like, for example, if American Ambulance said that they needed a new hospital bed, but they only lost, I don't know, like $5,000, but they need $10,000 to purchase it, we can evaluate that on a case-by-case basis.
The 3 that you received,
Yep.
how did they find out?
These 3, they had reached out early on when they saw the article about the loan program, and none of them actually ended up submitting an application, but I had a running list, so I sent it out and.
We might have to be a little more aggressive.
Oh yeah, I'm
I
gonna be much
know,
more
well,
aggressive.
Art stopped at a business that we go to
Mhm.
frequently and dropped off the paperwork to let them know.
Oh yeah,
And it was like, you know, they have no time. They
right,
have no time to use the internet, they're busy, it's a restaurant.
right.
So we might have to be a little aggressive.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll go out and I'll drive around and hand out applications.
Well, maybe.
I would
maybe
also
we-
suggest you do a turnpike buyer ad.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree with all that. Follow-up kind of point / question then point. It's under your marketing efforts.
Yeah, I'd be happy to
So
do that.
because what you can do is take your analytics and then compare with your end results to see what was effective for future reference, future marketing.
Okay, and then just.
That would be useful.
What points are you?
Like Facebook obviously is going to offer some pretty rich analytics.
Oh yeah, like
As
how
far
many
as,
times it's
you know,
seen.
what are the demographics of people who are actually even looking, what are your click rates?
Yeah, well, luckily Facebook, we've had a lot of success. We just had the Mobility Plus ribbon cutting that got 15,000 hits on Facebook.
It doesn't mean you're reaching people.
Well, that's just if they've
Those
seen
hits are
it.
nothing,
Yeah.
that.
No, but so you can draw correlations between general hits and then meaningful, you know, who actually goes in and fills out one of these forms. Do you know what I mean? To see what the relationship
Oh, yeah.
is.
It's still antiquated, I mean, it's not, it's still, you think it's reaching people, but it's not.
Gotcha.
There's so much information coming in.
Yeah, so if there's
There's a
anything.
lot of competition, that's what I'm saying, the personal interaction, maybe if we had a list of businesses that we could all go to, or make a list or something and bring the paperwork to them and show them.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of
For
just
new mailing.
a mailing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd be happy to do a mailing. And also I will go out, like I know next week I'm going to Longo's, that went off.
There you go,
So,
see, because you go in there and let them know.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to have a data pool when we're done. How effective was that, you know, in the end? So we can have as a reference point what are our weaknesses, what areas to focus on for the future rather than kind of not learning from our, you know, our project.
yeah, sounds good.
You do a lot of that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions right now. So
Not at the moment.
all the criteria that they need to meet is in here, as well as the backup documentation they need to supply. correct?
Yes, yeah, and there's always the option for you or the board of selectmen to request additional documentation or proof.
Okay,
This looks good.
okay. I don't have any other questions right now. Okay. Moving on to item now D, which would be reports. The only things, updates that I have are the Interroyal project. We met with virtually the firm that's doing the market study. They should have a draft ready for us within the next 6 months or so. We are working on coordinating a kickoff meeting with the surveyors so that they can get started on that project. And that meeting will probably be within the next couple of weeks. The Lathrop Road sidewalk project, we had test pits done, if I recall, it was like last Friday. And the engineer is now revising and updating the plans in accordance with those test pits. And he will then forward the plans on to NECOG and DOT for their review and comment before we can move forward on that. Item E, old business, business of the year 2022. You all received in your emails the nominations.
I only received the last two for some reason. I couldn't.
There were 2 emails, but like 5.
Yeah, I never, for some reason, I didn't.
Did everybody, did you get 5? You didn't see 5 either.
I couldn't find my email I was looking for it, so I probably did, but
Oh my.
So we don't know, it's still a mystery.
Yeah.
I know the first 3,
Would you do me a favor, Kate?
or first 3.
Would you go make copies of these and we'll... Can I have a motion for a 5-minute recess?
I'll motion a 5-minute recess. Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. we got some more.
I got a few copies of it. I'll let you know if I do.
Sounds good.
It's just always in there, so.
Oh, yeah.
was our 5 minutes done?
Not yet.
It's at 20 right now.
Okay, it's 7:21, I'll call the meeting back to order. You all have copies now of the nominations, so if anyone wants to discuss, or if you want to take a couple more minutes to review. Anybody want to start off?
With a
With
suggestion?
a suggestion or comments or what?
Yep.
I mean, I guess we each get to make one vote soon. My vote would be with the VIA or Villa Maria Nursing Rehabilitation business.
Okay, and because?
I was impressed with the numbers they were offering, more or less, compared to the other businesses. The arguments presented for them to be number one are more frankly measurable, and they line up with what I think we should be awarding the Business of the Year award for. They have a wage increase. I don't think any of the other businesses mentioned a wage increase specifically, and it's part of what they're doing and why they're doing it. That to me is possibly the single biggest reason. I thought they were all really good businesses, but that to me is the biggest criterion.
Anybody else?
My choice would be the food manager, because people need food.
It's good.
I just think that it's.
I agree.
It just touches my heart, that's like,
Mhm.
that's how I feel.
I was amazed to see it on here because it's a nonprofit,
Mhm.
and I didn't think of a business as a nonprofit as a business. But actually, it does have to operate like a business.
No, totally.
It does.
Yeah,
And they managed to provide food through the most difficult time. They're still providing food.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So that was my first thought.
Yeah, yeah.
It is hard because they're all good.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
If only we were doing the right choice, right?
It is hard.
Well, I would echo Project N. And they've been around for 45 years, and doing what they do, it's extremely admirable. It really is. And it's a lot of work. Kevin, do you have any input?
Can't go wrong with any of these that are listed here.
I know, it's so,
We have to choose one, Kevin.
I know, and I would say that if I was to echo some of the things that were written down for each one, absolutely. If you think about what Hope Lodge was before,
yeah, no, I agree.
and they've done a fantastic job of being part of the community as
I
well.
just wish they provided more specifics. on
Yeah.
What exactly they were doing and how they improved it.
Yep. Like the Marina did.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, you've got Plainfield Agway is definitely moving forward, so appreciate all of their work they've done in the town and business. Same thing with Matthews Catering, really, really great group, so. But I would echo the sentiments so far of Project Pen.
Okay. So why don't we have a motion?
Make a motion to select Project 10 for Business of the Year.
I'll second that.
Okay, June moved, Ava seconded for Project Pen. Any other nominations? Okay. Motion to close nominations?
A motion to close nominations.
I'll second
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Project Pin it is. I will call the awards company and have them get started on working up the award, and it will be presented in conjunction with PBA's
Holidays.
the holiday lighting ceremony on December 2nd. Now, moving on to old business, item B, economic development plan discussion. Did we have a chance to look it over? Okay, do we have any thoughts?
You talking about the action plan?
Yeah.
A lot of thoughts, brief.
My word, look at all that writing.
It would be hard to summarize all of that, and I can do some bullet points, but maybe everyone else should talk first. The bullets.
Go ahead, Adrian.
I thought it was really good. I had some follow-up questions. I noticed this was 2020,
Yep,
and it's now 2022.
it is.
So I have some comments, but I guess I would start with questions. Being new to the commission, what is the status on some of these actions? Maybe that can be for another time when we get an update, because that might be a lengthy thing in
Yeah, it
itself
would
to
be,
do an
yeah.
update on all the actions.
Yep.
So maybe.
And not all the actions have been started.
Right.
You know, that's the
right.
purpose of the
Right.
plan. What do we want to prioritize?
Okay, so the answer to that leads to maybe my first comment or observation, that upon reading this, it seems to me to cry out for a couple things, maybe either a logic map or a Gantt chart at a minimum to visually provide a breakout of progress of the individual actions. I counted separately 18 action items, roughly mapping, but there's no mapping actually provided in the document, to the 4 goals. Those are a couple ideas, because if you have a logic map, you can map how your actions, your goals, map to your actions. So then just your actions can be actionable and you can track them on a Gantt chart. Right now the actions are not really written to be easily tracked in a Gantt chart, so it might be a good idea to provide specific measurable actions that are going to be tied to each individual action. So you could have, like, for example, 2, prepare a data package to promote business recruitment. That could be a database, it could be a spreadsheet. So the measurable goal would be a spreadsheet, for example, or a database, or whatever it is that we're going to organize your data. So you could put that line in a Gantt chart, and you can measure it based on, well, what size do you want it to be? You know, how much information are you looking for? That could be, each of these would require discussion to fit into a Gantt chart. But a Gantt chart would help us to map it, so you can do a quarterly review of each of the bullets vis-a-vis a Gantt chart, which we update via spreadsheet. And a spreadsheet task that maps to a Gantt chart, and that will show you where our progress is at.
So then I hear you volunteering to create this.
I totally would do that, yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So a Gantt chart would be helpful.
I did want to point out real quick that we are already started on page 3. We've started to support businesses affected by COVID-19.
Yeah, there's a number that look like we've made some progress.
Yeah, well, no, it just happened, but.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of these we might want to update because COVID is less of a concern, not
Well,
a
we're
concern.
going to try and bring this money to
Yeah.
businesses affected, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
That we're actually doing something, because we haven't done anything, right, from this plan.
Oh, yeah, we have.
I believe some stuff's been done,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just not sure about the specifics. So like we talked about, we probably.
We've done business
Did you do
visits.
the inventory?
We've got an inventory,
Okay.
granted it is old and out of date, it needs updating.
Okay.
So I mean,
I monitor DECD constantly,
Mhm.
so that's ongoing. Always talking with other ED partners.
sure. I mean, what I could do is I can take everything we have here in this document and put them, well, the actions at least, into basically a spreadsheet and then map it into a Gantt chart, and then we can walk through and say, hey, where are these at? And then we can see what the percentages are, where we need to complete, what we need to change. It'll give you a visual clue. That's,
And if we was engaged with the land plan.
yeah, there's a lot of these bullets that are quite complex though.
Yeah,
So it's hard to track them by taking them as separate bullets, so you might want to break them down further. So I could probably write a summary of my critiques, because there's quite a few.
Okay.
That would be easy to digest for the next meeting, rather than try to.
And you can get that out ahead of time so that we
Yeah, I
have
can-
time to
Do
study.
you guys want that in PowerPoint or in Word document? What would be the best for the total members of the board?
How do you think it would be best for you to present?
PowerPoint is easier and I can have notes if I'm able to present a slide set, because then it's easy to walk through.
Okay, well, as long as we have upstairs, we're good.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Excuse me.
because I don't want to do a whole dump of all my, I have some notes.
Yeah, and we'll make sure there's hard copies available
Yep.
so that we can take notes.
Yeah, and then we can conversate and take notes and have a more working draft for the helping documents. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that will be very helpful moving forward. So,
So a lot of these are really great action items, like capitalizing Plainfield's many village centers of promotional opportunity. And that maps kind of sort of the POCD, kind of conservation development, but it doesn't mention it here, like connecting the documents together so we have more concrete measurability based on interrelated documents, we can tie it into it.
when you are ready to send it out, Adrian, email it to Katie, please.
Okay.
And Katie will distribute it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna come with the last week, because I could, put it together, but yeah.
So
Maybe this, if I can get it,
We'll have it by Monday?
yes, absolutely. It's gonna happen right away. But yeah.
Okay. All right, do we want to discuss anything else on that, or wait till next
Some
month?
things we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are.
Some things we're not yet with the agriculture.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not yet.
we're not in there.
You know, but again,
Some
this
things
was
are
not,
happening naturally too.
exactly. This was not meant to be tackle everything all at once.
No.
Sure,
You know, it's,
Yeah.
okay, let's prioritize, what do we want to do first? But a lot of this I do as part of my day-to-day job. Those are often forgotten businesses. And they're important to the town. So we need to figure out a way to engage them.
I had a question. The commission use it's a tool in business decision processes, a impact effort grid, high impact, high effort, low effort. Like, are you guys familiar with that? But that can help prioritize which things to like focus your energy on, especially when you have so many actions, such sub-actions, or something like that. But that can really help, you know, because like, for example, that sounds important, but have we done an analysis of what are the other things that are being considered here that might be just as important but maybe lower effort? I don't know. That's why I don't have an answer to that question. But that might be helpful to kind of bullet point, you know, which ones are going to require kind of a modicum of effort and have high impact, and then some things are going to be the opposite. So you want to find something that's ideally, you know, high impact, low effort, or medium effort, maximum impact sort of thing. Yeah, those are pretty helpful. That could be done at the same time, actually, because if I'm getting all this information, I can
Do that as well.
Yeah, it would be based on an estimate of hours of effort. So, and I could present the efforts. There's another tool that goes along with that maps your hours of estimated hours of work, and it's an estimate, so that provides you a level of effort. And then your level of impact will be related to whatever metrics we as a commission would be targeting, which would be another question. What exactly are we targeting? Simply increasing dollars? Or increasing businesses, or some amalgamation or combination of the above, more businesses, more tax dollars in the town, then you can map the two together. If that's what I guess that's the question. Is that what the impact, is that how we're measuring impact as a commission? In terms of our efforts, how do we know when our efforts are impactful as a commission? Have we asked that question before?
No.
Okay. Because that would be useful in general, especially evaluating any of these actions, to know how we can measure when our actions are impactful. You know?
Okay. Do we have any other comments? You're thinking.
Yep, I'm all set.
Good. Okay. Thank you for volunteering, Adrian. We appreciate it. Moving on to correspondence. You got the trade name listing in the email. The only thing I would like to add, we did get another bill from DOT for the billboard, which we canceled in August because the iPark is full. So we don't need the billboard anymore. So I prepared a, please see the cancellation dated this date, and mail that off to them. So that's taken care of. We are at motion to adjourn.
Make a
Motion to
motion.
adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion, okay, to adjourn at 7:37. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.